this is Ted Parker, and this is Quickies, so where we showcase some of the best talent in Atlanta. Regarding filmmaking and acting, Atlanta's definitely becoming the next Hollywood. And what we have here today, who we have here, is one of the greatest filmmakers and special effects artists in Atlanta, Mr. Ace Talkingwolf. How are you today, Ace Talkingwolf?
Doing well. How you doing, Ted?
So what got you into the filmmaking business?
Well, I've kind of always been an actor since I was a little kid, wearing costumes and stuff. But my best friend in high school was a man named Matt Scott, and we wanted to make some films just for fun, zombie stuff. And he was really the first person that actually seriously sat down, wrote a script, and made the pictures and everything to go with it. And I started as his special effects artist, and then moved into acting in part of it. And he's the one that got me started. And from then on, pretty much just whoever I could hook up with down here.
Would any of the people find you looking for talent, find you on imdb.com?
Yes, of course. Ace Talkingwolf.
So would you prefer acting in film or theater, or working in film or theater, or both, or how would you like to do it?
Well, I have acted in both, and I love theater. I really do. But between the two, I think I prefer film over theater, just personally, because I'm not as good at memorizing an entire script. But I respect theater way more than film, because I think that it requires a lot more skill. And you can certainly tell the actors who started off doing mostly theatrical productions over someone who started in just film.
So what would you say has been your best gig so far, and why?
Well, I've done several gigs, and this is a tough question, but I think I'd have to say Ace the Zombie. And that's still, I think they're still trying to find a theater to show that in. But that is a huge production, and it's not named after me. That is completely just coincidence. And ironically, since my name is an acronym, they also have an acronym for that character, but it's Alan something, so it's not Ace as in me. I am acting in it, but it's mainly my involvement was with my team, the 9-Cop FX special effects team. I am partners with a lady named Ondie Daniel.
Oh yeah.
And we have several members of our team. Some people know Java Green. There's Devin and some others. Devin's kind of moved on. He's doing his own things. He's with PD Productions now. But that was our involvement in that one, and we did hundreds of zombies in that film. I'm kind of zombied out now.
Gotcha. So what would you say is, what do you think of Atlanta becoming the next Hollywood?
Well, ever since I was young and I used to come down and visit my aunt down here, I knew that there was a lot of films being made here. I came down just when Robocop 3 was being made down here. I love that this is a little Hollywood, that there's far less unionized stuff. And if you're trying to do a film down here, there's still places you can do it without having the government step in and say, "Oh, you need a permit, or you got a license for this." And, although we always get the paperwork and we always do all that, you can still find lots of places that don't care and don't require it.
Mostly because Georgia's a right-to-work state.
Exactly.
So what are your plans for the future?
Well, I'm glad you asked. We are working on several projects. In November, I'm talking to a good friend of mine about starting a video blog, or not a video blog, but just a vocal podcast. That's what it is. And it's going to be more nerd culture type stuff.
Nerds are good.
Yeah. We're also working on Wraith Quest, which is a series about monster hunters, and it's all fictional and it's hilarious. And we basically started a horror movie. This was going to be a side project within it. And we had so much fun doing the one, we decided that it's probably going to take precedence. And then I'm working for several other people on their projects with 9-Cop FX. My film company is also called next step. Ondie's my partner with that as well.
Who would you say are your heroes?
I have lots in this world, especially ones that have passed, like Nikola Tesla. That's one of my heroes. But actor-wise, I love Captain Kirk.
Oh, yes.
William Shatner, and Sean Connery, the one accent I can do. It's the ants.
Oh, yeah.
Dos Fadanya. But are we talking about my favorite actors who I'd love to work with?
Absolutely, yeah.
Aside from working for Shatner, which would be just totally awesome, I think I love Sandra Bullock and I love Sigourney Weaver. I think both of them are brilliant actresses, and if I could just be like the guy at a desk that they come and say, "Can I rent a car?" and "Yes, ma'am," that would be fun. That would be fine if I could just get that little snippet in there.
Hopefully they'll come to Atlanta someday.
I did do the Blind Side with Sandra Bullock. And ironically, this is an interesting story. Two of the makeup gals there worked with me at a haunted house called Silo X in 93 or 94. And they'd just come out of school. Penny was one of them. Ransom was the other. I can't remember if Ransom was in school at the time, but they came out of makeup school. They really didn't have a lot of experience with doing zombies, monsters, gunshot wounds, that kind of stuff. So I was actually the person who showed them the start of that, showed them how to do some of that stuff.
Neat.
And they're still out there, and they popped up. There they are on the set of Blindside, and they were in charge of the makeup there.
What would you be doing if you were not doing film work?
If I wasn't doing film work, I'm also a photographer, and I love model photography and runway photography, fashion shows, that kind of thing. But I also love working with animals. I got to briefly do that when I worked at Medieval Times as their announcer, and I was terrible at horse riding, and I would like to show that I can actually ride a horse. If given enough time and practice.
Gotcha.
Fat guy getting on horse, well, it's hilarious, actually.
So, what are you doing now? Anything to plug?
Well, going to do it. We just did the premiere for this show, Redemption 316. And 9 Cop FX was the makeup team for that. And this is a Zulu production.
Gotcha.
And I'm sure if you go to Redemption 316 on Facebook, you can figure out, or you can send them a message if you'd like to get a copy of it. It's about 29 minutes long, and it is about a woman who goes through the prison system, and no one believes that she's innocent, and she has a really rough time of it. It's not for kids. It's definitely a very violent movie, and it's short, and I think the donations are kind of on that scale too. They go to women. One of the people who was worked on this was a woman who had actually gone through the system and had all this, and how she is now. She's a model, and yet she's still dealing with people doing background checks and saying, what's this about?
Sure.
It just never leaves you, and that's what it's kind of about.
Anything else?
Yeah, I am also working for Cool Hat Production. They are making a show called Lost in the Woods. This is actually one of the actual production pictures of when I was working on the head with my partner Ondie, and this is one of the new characters. I can't show too much, but they're going to be showing in the next a few episodes, and whenever this airs, I'm not sure what season they'll be in at that time.
That's great. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, the great Ace Talkingwolf. This has been Quickies. Come to Atlanta. See ya.
Sweet tea.